Hi Laura, this is Gabriele. Fernando asked me to show you the recipe of the tiramisu. I actually never ever made a video while I was making food. So I found out it's quite complicated actually, there's really a lot of ingredients. But if you follow the video, I guess afterward, it should be right. So let's start. First of all, let's talk about the ingredients just really quickly. Then you'll understand more about what I mean when we make it fresh. Let me point this down, and from now on you'll see the ingredients on the table, then you get a better idea. Alright, so we start with actually 4 humongous huge eggs, or you'll need probably like something like 6, let's say, small size. Here we have 120 grams of sugar. Usually I would put much less because I'm not too much into sweets. 120 is pretty much the standard dose for a tiramisu. Here we have some, actually we really need like almost nothing of this, but it's amaretto. And you can choose whatever liquor you want. This is actually a cheap brand, let's say, because it's really about the aroma. It's not really like, how to say that? You won't even probably taste if you put too little, so just get whatever you like. Here we have mascarpone. This is a very standard brand, Italian brand actually. It's a pretty good one. Of course you can find much fresher one, much more expensive, but this is pretty good as a standard. Then we have cacao powder. This is like bitter, really pure cacao powder. This is really for the finishing touch, let's say. Then we have the cookies. Now, there are 2 schools about the cookies. You have the pavesini, which are very thin ones, and this is savoiardi, which is, you can see, pretty thick ones. And you can use both of them, and what's better, I'm not really sure, but I'm used to do with those one, and people like my tiramisu, so I guess it's alright. And we'll need about 400 grams of those. But actually, we will basically need enough to cover this one. This is a standard scale from a standard tray from IKEA, but you can see it's probably 30 centimeters. Anyway, the cookie must be enough to make twice 2 layers. If you make it too thick, like they do it often, it's not really better, it becomes too heavy, so don't do that. Just twice 2 layers, a double decker is fine. About the tools, oh, one more thing, sorry. You should have one of these, or somebody you know should have one of these. This is basically the classic mocha, and this one, it's the classic Italian machine to make coffee. And you need to use a really good coffee. This is Illy. This is, my opinion, one of the best commercial coffee you can find. Of course, it's grind coffee, it's powder coffee, must be used fresh. Like the eggs. Just buy them directly when they make them. If you make this tiramisu and you want to make the best one, just buy the best ingredients. So this coffee, it's really important. What I've done, the only thing I've done, I've made basically 12 portions of coffee. This would be for 3 persons in Italy, and you have 3, you have 6, you have more. So if you make 4 of this, it should be good to go basically. And honestly, make just some more so you can sink the cookies properly inside. And beside that, so I'll show you, I have made already, this is the coffee I've made. What I'm gonna do basically, just to start, I'm gonna put inside some of the amaretto, just like that. And I'm gonna put this aside, some of the sugar, really just a little bit, and mix it in there. Because then I am sure that basically my preparation is sweet in all the points. All the ingredients are sweetened up, not maybe, you know, you got too bitter coffee and mascarpone, which is too sweet. And what you do, once you do this, what I want you to do is you keep on tasting everything 10 times. Yeah. You can feel the ingredients. I will put some more. This is only for the cookies, so you can even add the amaretto actually eventually to the mascarpone, for example, especially if you want to make it more liquid or less liquid. but I like to put it in the coffee. Maybe I'll put it also actually in the cream. I put it everywhere. Yeah, it smells really nice. So let's put this aside for a moment. First things first, what do we need to do? Mascarpone, it's like probably 1 hour out of the fridge. It has to be a little bit warmed up so that it's not so heavy. And the eggs, very important, same things, room temperature. This is really important also when you want to mount the white. So we're gonna take the mascarpone out of its container. Wow! And we're going to put it just, oops, just put it in there. We're gonna take a spoon. So we're just gonna put it in there. See, one whole block. And we just roughly break this. Nothing special. Just break it down a little bit. That's what it starts steaming. What you can do already, let's put this on the over here. You can basically already add the sugar. Now when you add the sugar, it will become a bit difficult to work because it's gonna become pretty dry, let's say. So don't exaggerate. We'll add some liquid later. We'll add the eggs. What's it called there in English? I don't remember anymore. The yolk. The yellow part of the eggs. So let's just leave this one for a while. Now, difficult part. Not difficult, but careful part. We need to separate the red from the white, and the red we're gonna put together with the mascarpone, and the white we're gonna keep in this bowl. So this bowl, it must be real clean. If any of the red touches the white, if the white is not in a good mood, anything you do, the white will not mount, and then you lose all the structure of the tiramisu. So let me break this a little bit, and then we do like this. And now we start doing this. I know there are very fancy machines to do this. There are people showing on internet using a plastic bowl. So now, you see, I just saved it just on time. It broke down, live on camera. Yes, this can happen, folks. So there is nothing in there. I guess it's the emotion of making a video. Just kidding, it happened to me more than once. Of course, it will not taste bad if the white is not mounted, but the idea is that it's not so heavy when the white is filled up with air bubbles, let's say. That's what making it so soft. It's a really small yellow yolk. Voila, again. Perfect. And of course, it really depends how big your eggs are. But if you think that is not enough, just add one more egg. This one I took must be of a chicken of 200 kilos because they are just huge. I'm not sure what a full chicken has, but all right. So I have put the yellow inside here, and I'm already gonna stir this up. And of course, it's getting already more and more creamy because we add some liquid inside, and it starts to take good shape. As I said before, I'm probably gonna add some amaretto in here as well to make it even more liquid, but should really not exaggerate. Actually, you know, if it becomes a bit warm, if it gets a bit warm, the mascarpone will really start to be liquid. So if you get it out of the fridge and you let it there just for a few seconds, it won't be enough and the core will still be cold. In fact, the more I mix, the better it becomes liquid. So what I'm gonna do later, so I'm actually gonna add all the sugar inside here and mix it. Later I will use the mixer to do this job, because then I know that it's really mixed up properly. You see? Even when I add all the sugar, it's still pretty liquid, so I'm trying to fool me this mascarpone this time. And again, it's really up to you what you want to do, how sweet you want to do it. I don't really like it extremely sweet, so I tend to keep things a bit more on the bitter side, and I always tell people, if it's not sweet enough, you just add sugar yourself. You just must be, you know, not extreme, not exaggerated. And of course, I washed my hand before, so this is how you have to do it. This is how you have to do it. You must use your finger. That's the best way to taste it. Yeah. Perfect. You can use a spoon to taste it. Just saying. Alright, so this is actually pretty liquid. I don't think I'll be adding any extra eggs inside here. Just to make sure I got that flavor amaretto everywhere, I'm just gonna put a very, voila. It's really nothing. Have you seen that? Maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't even catch that one on camera. So we just stir it a little bit. Voila. So this goes on the side to rest. Now, this is all the white part of the eggs, alright? So there's a little secret. Don't tell anybody. This video will probably end up on Facebook, but don't tell anybody. A bit of salt. Really a tiny bit. And that's all you need actually. That's really all the salt you need to make the process for the white to become hard. So now we start. And basically we're just gonna mount the white up until really they come hard again. Do not panic if it doesn't work. I mean, just buy some extra eggs in case you got some red that went in there, so you can do it again. And as I said, it's not that it tastes bad. Let's say that you didn't buy any extra eggs, like I did actually. It won't taste bad, it's just that they will basically not have that softness, that smoothness. And of course it's a lot of eggs, so it may take a while, a little bit longer to mount, to finally become hard. And it should never stop in between. So let's hope we don't get a phone call. And this is a neat trick to do. See that? So you should do this on the bottom of the tray, so that all the egg on the bottom also gets pulled into the mixer. Just rotate a little bit. Of course there are more fancy machines to do such a job, but I think it's a lot of time to clean them up afterwards, so when I make it in this quantity, actually a small one like this will be fine. Oh, by the way, this recipe is for 8 persons, but it's probably for like 5 Italians or 8 normal persons. Because at the end, you know, we're gonna eat it all pretty quickly. The only thing that I would say to be careful is to use fresh eggs, because that's the thing that will spoil the quicker of this recipe. But 2 days, 3 days max in the fridge. So I hope the camera can get this. It's starting to get pretty hard actually, and it really starts to stick to the pan as well. I mean, it's not really moving. What's probably moving is on the bottom. On the bottom you may have some egg that didn't get mixed up properly. That's really pretty stiff already. I think we'll be done pretty quickly actually. The only thing to remember, of course, it should be in the fridge at least 2 or 3 hours. And why is that? Because then the coffee is really gonna soak into those cookies. And believe me, if you eat it the day after, that will be really how we do it in Italy. I mean, that's really the proper way. So I'm gonna stop this like this. And actually, maybe I'm gonna make the most stupid thing on camera, but it looks like it's stable. It'd be quite funny if it came out, but so even the sound, like yeah, it's perfect. Now, very important, extremely important thing. It's about mixing the sauce. All right. First of all, as I said before, I'm gonna mix the mascarpone with the red one more time with this thing, with this machine, okay, with a mixer. Why? Because then I know it's perfectly mixed, the sugar is dissolved and everything. Never let the red touch the white. What? Before you mount the white. It will not work. Even a tiny bit it won't work. So you mix it with this one, so that after you mount the white, and not the other way around. If those things here, those pieces, which I don't know what they call in English, if those are dirty, and you mix the white, it won't work. It's really a love and hate relationship between those two. So, now this is mixed properly. This will be the point where you can check whether it's sweet enough for you, whether you like it, whether you want to add some crazy ingredients. I am really pro keep it simple. So this, I mean, you can add whatever you want, but really just keep it simple. Don't add some crazy stuff in it. I know people adding orange, adding nuts, adding whatever you want. You can add whatever you want, whatever you like, but really, just if you keep it simple sometime, better that way. Rather have really great and simple ingredient and fewer of those than to keep on adding and adding and adding and adding. So this is clean. Now, what I'm gonna do, as you can see, beautiful. This I think is my best. Oh, it's crazy! Look at this thing. There you go. Hey, my mom will be proud. Now, voila. Now, listen to my words carefully. You really need to pay attention. What you need to do, you need to mix from underneath to above. So low with your spoon and then you bring it on top. Bottom to the top. Do not mix the other way around. Do not, never ever dare to do it the other way around. And if you think that it's the same thing, that it doesn't matter, that it doesn't really change anything, that's exactly why probably people ask me to make this recipe for them. What happens is that when you mix from the bottom up, you don't squeeze the bubbles out. You don't squeeze the bubble out of the white foam, you see? And it takes, of course, longer, but that's the idea behind it. It's the idea that you're really not squeezing the white, squeezing the air bubbles out of the white. I've seen a guy once taking the mixer, the same one we use for the white, and mixing the ingredient with that one. Should I tell you what was that for something? Should I tell you what I said to him? Anyway, just don't do it, believe me. And I can really hear the sound of the softness of this cream already. I really can feel it bubbling underneath. Some bubbles are popping out, but really it's just... So before I made the video, I made the coffees. I'm not sure if I said it. And I just put it in a bowl and I let them cool down now. So that's the only thing I didn't show on camera, but I mean, coffee should be made slow. So you fill up the machine with coffee powder. So I'm putting a glove on because I don't want to have black finger from the coffee, you see? So let's get this out. Just a cooking glove actually. So this is the bowl with coffee. This is cold now. So this is the coffee machine. You have to fill up until that little valve on the side there. So that's about what it is on the inside too. You fill it up with water until there, you make it full. You do not squeeze the coffee. You use the best coffee and you make this on low fire. Low fire, no hurry. You never wash this with soap, with a sponge. Never use soap. This is how you have to use it. Okay, so you make the coffee. This is what you're gonna do now. The coffee is cold, of course. So we're gonna take the cookies and we're gonna just, you know, dip them in there real quickly and put them like that. I tend to put the sugar on the top side. Does it really matter? Does it count? Well, I'll let you judge yourself. So, as I said, you do this just to fill the plate properly, fill the tray. And if you think they're dry, of course you can later with a spoon or something just spread some coffee on top of it, but I mean, those things are really quickly soaked, so usually it doesn't really have much problem. But it's really horrible if you do this and the cookies are dry and, I mean, of course, there is also the possibility to use some cups and make a single portion of this one. But I never seen a tiramisu in this hour lasting more than 24 hours usually. Even a dose for 8 person, I mean, it doesn't really last long. So I just make the scale for 8, and if one day would happen that that I wouldn't feel for it, I mean, I'm really talking crazy here, but or my girlfriend, that, I mean, impossible. Or any people that know that I'm making tiramisu and they're coming over, then really in that extreme situation, I'm gonna bring it to the neighbor. But it didn't happen before, so I don't think it's gonna happen. There are different cookies, by the way, and the name of the cookie is Savoiardi. And once again, do you make this once in a lifetime? Do you make this once every really few months? Just buy some good ingredient, buy the brand ones, buy the good stuff. You really spend just a little bit more, and at the end you will have the best result. So we're gonna take this cream, which is really amazingly made. Not because I made it, of course, but yeah, actually also because I made it. But it really turned out really good. So we do this. We make sure that we have some left for the second floor, the second level. Alright, so I just made enough to fill up everything. The camera died on me in the meantime, just a bit of panic there. Nothing special. You should be a bit quick, maybe, just, you know, to put this in the fridge to avoid that the air is coming out of the white of the egg. Or I think they say that amounts. That seems very technical, but anyway, you get the idea. It will really turn back to liquids, and we don't want that. So think there were like five packages of cookies in total. But it really depends on the brand. Anyway, we get in there. If you push it, it shouldn't break. If you push it down, it should bend. Then you also understand that it's really well soaked. If it breaks down because it's too dry, then I mean it's really not wet. So I think I'm gonna have some leftovers. But too much and too little, they told me when I was little. And that's how I got 230 kilos. Just kidding. How do you make the best recipes in Italy? Well, actually, it's really always the same. You keep it simple. You use the best ingredient. Because, you know, when you go to the supermarket, you buy some eggs, just buy those ones which maybe are biological or treat well animals, free animals, animal running free. Or maybe if you did as I did, I went here to the farmer and I just bought eggs from him. Those eggs I made this morning, so I mean it doesn't really get any fresher than that. Now I got some coffee left, you see, and what I could do, I could take a spoon and put it on top of the. So this is a bit harder, you see, it's breaking down a bit. Those are softer, so you know I got a bit gentle there. So what I'm gonna do, I do like this, I poke them a bit. If I find that one is a bit too soft, I do like that. I actually like when it's creamy. You should not exaggerate, otherwise it will become too much. So you know, like this. This is a bit hard, so I put it on top of it. See? And of course the sugar also will stay hard. But anyway, you get it here. If I think that is not alright, so let's remove this because I'm done. And my finger is not black. Look at that. It took me 30 years to find out. So let's finish this. We're just gonna pour it on top. And we're gonna spread it properly on top of our cake. It doesn't have to be perfect because the cacao powder that I left over there is actually to give it is to put on top when we are done, and that actually will also smoothen out and you know to make it look also prettier. And as I said, I'm not really too fond of super sweet stuff, so on top you can add as a finishing touch some chocolate crisps. Chips or some, I don't know, some snippets, how you call them, some chocolate stuff, some chocolate toppings. So I'm happy that I didn't steal too much of the cream while the camera was off, because it's just enough. Actually, it's not just enough, it's perfect. There's really just enough to cover up everything properly. And so, how long did it take us? Like 30 minutes? Voila! Of course now I'm gonna go off camera and your spoon, because that's one of the best part of it. So that's it, it's finished. How do we finish up? Cacao powder, This is bitter, remember, bitter. Don't even think about putting a spoon of this in your mouth because it will be awful. So, that's how you do. And you can get wild, let me tell you again, because I know that the question is gonna happen. How can I do this? How can I make it better? Well, better is your taste. So it's a matter of how you think better is. I like nuts, but I still wouldn't put like, you know, walnuts or hazelnuts and these kind of things inside this. I wouldn't do that. Because simple for me is better than adding some extra stuff. So, that's it. I can put some foil in it to keep all the moisture inside and make sure that the cookies are gonna really take as much of the coffee inside as possible. So that was the last 20 centimeter of foil. I think you've seen that. So that's about it. I'm gonna put it in the fridge. I'm gonna wait a few hours. Here I am. So I'm gonna put that one on the fridge, wait a few hours. It's 2:30 now, so I'll probably have it for dinner tonight, 7 o'clock. And the cookies will become really soft with the coffee. Really gonna suck out all the coffee that I put extra in there. Everything is well mixed up. It will get really firm. And that's about everything. That's basically how to make tiramisu. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. I hope I was clear. This is the first video I made, so I guess should be alright like this, maybe. See you next time for the next video. Bye bye, Chef Italie, Chef Italia.